2, 1, action. Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and as you can see on the screen, I'm playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe version for the Xbox One. That's right, it's on Xbox One, it's on it's still on Steam, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, it's even on Nintendo Switch, and there are some, I've gone through the game quite a bit. I've reset the whole save data, so I'm gonna go through on there's gonna be two, as of in a second, there'll be two playing side by side. There'll be the correct way, the left following the instructions, the left door, you'll know what I mean in a second, and the right door. We'll go all the way to the end of each one and find out which one in the endings is funnier. So let me know in the comments which you think is a much funnier ending out of the two left and the right hand ending. One might be shorter than the other. Let's see. Well, also got to compare how long it takes to get to those particular endings. So here we go. Let's begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, let's do it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And here is where it's gonna change. I'm hoping for you.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you stepping into his manager's office, and Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated to get back to business. Secret Stanley was being held the first open door on his left. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't.
Look, Stanley,
possibly
I think
have known
perhaps
this.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random
I
buttons
realize
on
that
the
investing in
keypad,
your trust
Stanley
in
happened
someone
to
else
input the correct code.
But the fact
By
is
sheer
that the
luck.
story has been about
Amazing.
nothing but
He
you
stepped into the
all
newly
this
opened
time.
passageway.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
This is going to be
To
interesting.
let her
to
back
say the
into
least,
your life.
and how
She's
I'm going
been
to put
waiting.
this together, but I will do my best.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his
Stanley, is that
chest,
you?
as though he felt
Hold on,
more
please.
free to
Sorry to
think
keep you
for
waiting.
himself,
I'm just
to
pulling the
question
phone
the
out of the oven.
nature of his job.
Oh,
Why did he
sorry.
feel this now, when for
Okay, there
years
we go.
it had never
All
occurred
right,
to
now,
him?
I want you
This
to come in and
question
tell
would
me
not
all
go
about your
unanswered for long.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Stanley walked
Did you
straight
actually
ahead
think
through
you
the
had a
large
loving
door that
wife?
read
They want
Mind
to commit their
Control
life to
Facility.
you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
The lights rose on an enormous room
This
packed
is a
with
very
television
sad story
screens.
about the death
What
of a man
horrible
named
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength
Stanley is
to
quite a
find
boring
out?
fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Now the monitors
him
jumped to
there,
life.
pushing buttons,
Their true
doing
nature
exactly
revealed.
what he's told
Each
to
bore
do.
the number of an
Now he's
employee in
pushing
the
a
building.
button.
Stanley's
Now
co-workers.
he's eating lunch.
The lives
Now
of so many
he's going
individuals
home.
reduced
Now
to images on a
he's coming
screen.
back to work.
And Stanley,
One might
of
even
them,
feel sorry for him,
eternally
except
monitored
that
in
he's
this
chosen
place
his life.
where freedom meant nothing.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
This mind control
Fantastic
facility,
discoveries
it was
of
too
new
horrible
lands.
to believe. It couldn't
wonderful.
be true.
And each day
Had
that he
Stanley
returned
really
to
been
work
under someone's
was a
control
reminder
all
that
this
none of it
time?
would ever
Was this the
happen
only
to him.
reason he was happy with his boring job? That his
so he began to
emotions had been
fantasize about his
manipulated
own
to
job.
accept it
First,
blindly?
imagine that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to
No,
realize that all of his
he refused
co-workers,
to
his
believe
boss,
it. He
everyone
couldn't
in
accept
the building
it. His
had suddenly
own life
vanished
in
off the
someone
face
else's
of the earth.
control?
The
Never.
thought
It was
excited him
unthinkable,
terribly.
wasn't it? Was it even possible?
So,
had he
went
truly
further.
spent
He
his
imagined that
entire
he came
life
to two
utterly
open doors
blind
and
to
that he
the
could go through
world?
either. At last, choice. It barely
Here was the
even
proof,
mattered what
the
lay
heart
behind
of the
door.
operation.
The mere
Controls
thought
labeled
that his
with emotions,
decisions would mean
happy
something was
or
almost
sad
too wonderful
or content,
to behold.
walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and
As he wandered
commanded
through
from
this
this very
fantasy
place.
world,
And
he
as the
began to
cold
fill it with
reality
many
of his
possible
past
paths
began
and
to sink in,
destinations.
Stanley decided
one
that this
path led an
machinery
enormous
would
round
never
room
again
with
exert its
monitors and
terrible
mind
power
controls.
over another human
And down
life.
another was a yellow
For
line
he
that weaved in
would
many
dismantle
directions.
the controls
And down another was
once
a game
and
of baby.
for all.
And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again
and a rising
and
chill
again,
of uncertainty.
and again, over and over, wishing
Was it
beyond
over?
hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this freedom. Surely there's an answer down some new path.
He had won.
Mustn't there be?
He had
Perhaps if
defeated the
played
machine,
just one more time.
unshackled himself from someone else's command.
But there is
Freedom
no
was
answer.
mere
How
moments
could there
away.
possibly be? In
And yet,
reality, all he's
even
doing
as
is
the
pushing
immense
same
door
buttons
slowly
he
opened,
always has.
Stanley
Nothing has
reflected on
changed.
how many
The longer he
puzzles
spends
still lay
here, the more
unsolved.
invested he gets.
Where had
the
his
more he
co-workers
forgets
gone?
which life is the real
How had
one.
he been freed from the machine's grasp? What
And I'm
other
trying to
mysteries
tell
did
him
this strange building
that in this
hold?
world he can
But
never
as
be
sunlight
anything but an
streamed into the
observer,
chamber,
that as
he
long as he
realized
remains
none
here,
of this mattered
he's
to
slowly
him.
killing
For
himself.
it was not knowledge
He
or
won't
even
listen to
power
him.
that
He
he
won't
had
stop.
been seeking,
Here, watch
but
this.
happiness.
Stanley, the
Perhaps
next
his
time the
goal
screen
had not
asks
been
you
to
push a
understand,
button, do
but to let
not
go.
do it.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what
You
to
see?
do, or
Can he just
how
not
to
hear me? How can
Whatever
I tell him
life
in a way
it
that he'll
is,
understand
it
that
will
every
be
second he
his.
remains here, he's
And that was
electing to
all
kill
he needed
himself?
to know.
How can I get him
It
to see
was
what I
perhaps
see?
the
How can I
only
make him
thing
look at
worth
himself?
knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make
Stanley
the rules.
felt the cool
I simply
breeze
play to my
upon his
intended
skin,
purpose.
the
same as
feeling of
Stanley.
liberation,
We're not so
the
different, I
immense
suppose.
possibility of the
I'll
new
try once
path
more to
before
convey all
him.
this to him.
This
I'm
was
compelled
exactly
to.
the way,
I must.
right now,
Perhaps
that things were
maybe
meant
this
to
time
happen.
we'll see. Maybe
And
this
Stanley
time.
was happy. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And
And there you go, folks. That is the first of many Stanley Parable two paths. I'm gonna do two-path endings and see what would happen if you take this route and what happens if you take that route. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.